This is Lara Henares making your day with part 7 of Philippine history for those who had flunked the subject. Chapter: The Catholic Church Made Us a Nation. Again, when the Muslims were superseded, it was by the Spanish Empire in its least virulent form. Spanish rule in the Philippines was without the genocidal features it brought to the Caribbean and the frightful exploitation of it inflicted in Mexico and Peru in its gold quest. Actually, its Philippine rule was watered down to a point where it was akin to that of the French rule in Canada. Scarcely any rule at all, and what rule there was adjunct to the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church, as it did in Europe, grew heavy and oppressive with its own weight, particularly as landowners. But if it waxed fat on the produce of our land, because they could not marry and have heirs, they also created a Filipino priesthood. The paradox of power is that it must be delegated in order to be exercised. And the Catholic Church found out almost simultaneously with the Spanish crown that while it imposed a government, it had also created a people. And that, unless it was willing to embark on untold decades of guerrilla warfare, it could not govern without the people's consent. They could not kill us off as they did the Caribbean Arawaks. They could not enslave us as they did the Aztecs and the Incas, and they could not put us on reservations as the Americans did the Indians, or enslaved us like the Negroes. We were too many and they were too few. Just how helpless they were, we finally realized that when they fell in a mock war with the United States, because a Filipino made it a mockery of fighting on the side of the invader. More about this after these messages. This is Lara Henares making your day with part 7 of Philippine history for those who had flunked the subject. Chapter: The Catholic Church Made Us a Nation. It is said that the Spaniard is pitiless upon no man more than himself. The Spanish Holy Inquisition, it was worth noting, was incorruptible. With tears in their eyes, the righteous inquisitors of Torquemada begged the accused to recant what they did not, and with heavy heart they set God's bonfires. What the hell else could an upright man do but burn a body at the stake here on earth to save his own the flames of hell for eternity? Catholicism found fertile ground in the Philippines. Within 30 years, it was completely accepted. They eagerly embraced in most of Luzon and many of the islands. The Catholic Church and the Spanish Empire simply imposed itself as a superstructure of the society as it was then organized, consisting of myriads of barangays made up of a score to 100 families, presided by a chief with 3 classes of pecking order, the whole governed by ancient customs steeped in religious mystique. Internal disputes were settled in tribal councils. There are frequent clashes between the barangays, but there is nothing unusual about the pattern. In fact, it is all but universal. The early tribal structure of the Malays remarkably parallels those of the Anglo-Saxon, including trials or ordeals and combat. Catholicism did for the Philippines what Homer did for the Greeks. It unified their culture. Further, the Spanish government achieved for the Philippines what the Greek city of states never attained, and unified central government. This was a tremendous leap forward because the idea of a federal government was implanted, and at least domestically, a Pax Española existed for 3 centuries. Finally, the revolution over the centuries against central governments resulted in the emergence of a united nation. More tomorrow, my dear friends. This is Lara Henares making your day, saying good day, God bless you. Thank you very much for being with us. Till next time, hasta la bye-bye.